Hi everyone, it's Jean from Sew It Themes. Welcome to my channel. I am doing some more to my sewing book finally. I did finish my daughter's baby hybrid junk journal, and I'm going to be putting a tutorial of how I did that up in probably another week. When I go up to be with her and the baby for a while, I'm going to be publishing some of these tutorials. But anyways, today I am just working on a quick project for the sewing book journal. Um, a lot of times when we get these vintage patterns packages, they're very fragile and very brittle, right? Oh, there goes the piece already. Um, they can't be used this way, although they have a wonderful patina. This is really nicely aged. Just I still want to use it, so I kept thinking, how am I going to do it? That might be kind of an easy, quick way to do it. So I thought that I would get a pattern, a modern day pattern, and you can pick them up at a thrift store for, 25 cents, I believe I paid for this. I would get one that's, in good condition already. And I suppose I could make my own sleeve out of paper, but why do that? Because one's already made for me. So I did that, and then I inked all the way around, and basically all I did was just take my inker and I just rubbed it, inside like this. And I'm doing the edges because I feel like, that's what's going to show the most are all these edges around in here. And I just did that around, the perimeter of the back and front. And you can always go back in and do more. So it's not like a big worry, but at least I think part of the job's done. I am using tea dye, Tim Holtz tea dye, because I feel it's a little bit warmer than vintage photo. And this is sort of a warm patina on here. Now we're going to gently, ever so gently, snip away. As you see, it's just really, oh, I probably should just take out the pattern, right? See, look at this, isn't this wonderful? Oh, luscious goodness there. We are just going to snip it off here. Might be further ahead if I just snipped off a little edge here like this, so that I have the front. Yeah, this is like so brittle. It's unbelievable. Now, not all vintage patterns you get are this brittle. It probably depends on what they were exposed to over the years. See if I can find the publishing date on this is 1962. So this is Jackie Kennedy era. And that's what the fashions were sort of imitating, some of the fashion sense that she had. So we're just going to put this on here. Now for the collage, I am going to use, for the first time, I've never used this before, this is the vintage Distress Collage Medium from Tim Holtz. I've always used just the plain white, but this is going to be the vintage one. So, oh, it's like caramel. Caramel candy. So I'm going to use that. I will put down a little bit ahead of time. Wow. Oh, look at that. You know what? I probably didn't even have to distress it. Look how lovely it's making that white background look. Let me put this down here. See if we can't cover up some of that. There we go. So here then, this lady's head's a little torn. Yeah, so this is working really great, because otherwise you would be just, if you glued it with just a glue stick or something, I don't think it would be very successful. And I see here I should have went a little further out on the inside. Should have went. All right, And so then I'm just going to come in here and sort of, now I have in here a modern day instruction booklet to kind of keep it from maybe sticking to each side sticking to each other, but I am sort of going to make it billow out a little bit. So we're going to let this dry and I will be back. Now I'm going to work on the journaling card I'm going to be putting inside the envelope. And a card is really sort of maybe not the right word because it's so large, but this is what I'm going to be putting inside the sleeve. So what would you find, what would you expect to find inside a pattern sleeve? Well, of course, you would expect to find my directions. And this, look at this, look at these drawings, how much it has changed. Like, you know, here's today's patterns, you know, with the layouts and the pattern, things like that, you know, just, you know, just, it's so cool. I mean, the typing, look at the types on the font on the words up there. It's so great, so great. Just really, I got one more vintage pattern like this that might be doing the same thing too, but oh, I'm having a blast with this. Really, I am. Oh, and look, for the icons, they use these old-fashioned icons. Isn't that neat? Anyways, I'm having a good time with that. So I am going to actually, I've decided to kind of use this area up here. I kind of like that easy sewing guide directions. So I will just take my pencil and come down here so that we can kind of make a cut with it. There we go. I'm going to cut out that part there. You know, very carefully. Oh, actually, I shouldn't. Actually, I should have cut it a little bit bigger and then glue it onto my piece, and that way I could have cut it later. Oh, well. I just got so excited. Okay. Yeah, and the patina on here is beautiful. It's going to match the one that's on the envelope. So, you just need to get this on here. And I am going to go ahead and use the Tim Holtz decoupage medium again. This paper isn't quite as brittle as the packaging paper, but it still is, it can be torn, you know, pretty easily. So I'm kind of hesitant to put on a stick, glue stick. Sometimes it can kind of drag a little bit. So we'll just go through and do this very quickly. So really, this actually applies to any kind of paper that you feel has become so brittle and that it's falling apart. Use it for decoupaging. All right. Oh, it's really cool. Just really like that. Really nice. I have been loving my little ephemera holder that I had a tutorial on about a month ago. I am loving this organization. It's so cool. It's not totally full yet, but it's getting there, and I have all my sewing ephemera in here, and it's just wonderful to be able to sit here and look and see it. That is very helpful for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to collage some of this onto here. Probably some of these paper dolls. Maybe we should get the bigger one. The bigger paper dolls. I didn't want to spend all the time you watching me pick out what I was going to do for the collage, so I went ahead and did that. And this is kind of a little collage that I'm going to be doing here. got this ribbon so long ago, and I thought, oh, it's so neat. I will use this, and I have not used it up till now. So I'm going to put that as the little ribbon to pull out the journal card with. And that just gave me the idea of using the measure and just this whole thing about, this is all about measuring your fabric and getting it out. So I am going to use the wood measures. These, yep, I'll link down below where these came from. I can't think right away. I think it comes from the old design shop. Pretty sure they do. I will tell you that later. So we'll just put our little retro lady paper doll down here. And I inked around her as well. Okay, put her right there. And just add a little thimble for a little bit more interest right over here. Now what I also did was I was not happy with the weight of the cardstock I used to decoupage with. If I had a thicker, heavier weighted cardstock, I would have used that and should have used that. But so I went back and sewed on some tea dyed paper. I used 32-pound rather heavyweight paper for the tea dye and sewed it on, and that really helped it to relax and feel more substantial in your hand. So next time I am not going to use a thin cardstock. I'm going to either double it up or find somewhere. I probably have something in my stash that I could use that would be a little bit more of a firmer base to decoupage on. I find that I love the Tim Holtz, the way it made the pattern look. And here's the finished pattern. I love how it put the patina on it, but I feel like it takes longer to dry than Mod Podge does. I don't know, it's just me. Maybe it needs to be watered down and it would dry faster. I'm not sure. But this is how it looks. I really, really like it. Looks really nice. What a neat way. And what really blows my mind is the pattern, the sizes of the patterns, sleeves have not really changed much. It's pretty much the same size and the same layout and everything. It's kind of funny how that has not really changed a great deal. So there it is, and this will be the little tag that I will put into it. And we will have a little tab here to pull it out with. I think that in the end, I am going to punch holes in here so that when I put it in my binder, it will rest in here. I might add like another piece of cardstock and fold it over and put it on a binder here so that it can be almost like a page that a person could actually even use for a journaling page. So I believe that's what I'm eventually going to do with this. So that is just my little quick tip about how to preserve some of these old vintage patterns that are crumbling and falling apart, and just kind of make a whole new pattern sleeve. So thanks so much for viewing, and please subscribe down below and see what more I'm going to put into my sewing journal. Thank you so much for viewing, and welcome to those new subscribers, and I hope to see you around again soon. So you have a crafty day. Bye. I'm back. I know I already signed off, but I had to show you what I ended up doing with that pattern piece. I put it inside the binder. It just works so great. And here is the card that fits inside, which would be great for like a photo mat or just lots of journaling space. And I'm going to show you how I ended up putting this inside the binder like this. I just got a piece of heavy tea stained, well, you can probably use cardstock, but I used a heavy tea stained paper. I just folded it in half. I went over and just made a mark a little bit, about a ½ inch from the edge as to where the holes should be, like so. Then I went and put in my holes, like so. I sewed here for decorative purposes, but you could put, washi tape, or you could put ribbon, whatever you would like. And then I glued it all the way, all the way to the crease inside onto the pattern. And once I glued it, then I could go back and clip holes in through the pattern piece. At first I did glue it like out here a ways so that most of the pattern could be shown, but when you close it you have to be careful because it stuck out. So I needed to go all the way to the pattern edge so that when I closed the book, the pattern was not going to stick out. And you just have to remember that when you make the card that goes inside, to allow for that extra room that you're taking up with the ring binder. So I don't know if that's helpful, but I just had to share that with you. So now this really is goodbye. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.